So there's no background Minecraft footage because crosscode's kind of been my obsession lately. By the way, play Crosscode, it's a pretty good game. Anyway, this is going to be really disorganized. I have notes of what I want to talk about on my phone, but no actual script, so just bear with me. So, for those of you who don't want to stick around for the entire thing, the TLDR of this whole thing is I'm basically dropping ItemBound and Transmobifier. I'm not going to be working on them anymore. The downloads are going to stay up for anyone who wants them. You're free to make expansions or continue them on your own if you want. That's totally fine. If you want to use the textures in them for your mods, that's totally fine. Credit is appreciated, but it's not a huge deal. Now I'm going to go into the reasons why this is happening. This probably isn't going to be a surprise to a lot of you, but still, I'd rather just, make it official. I want to say the main reason is that I'm tired, but I feel like I should be a bit more specific than that because it's a few things. I guess mainly just the thing is that I just don't feel inspired to work on them anymore, and I haven't felt inspired to work on them for quite a while, to be honest. I've tried to be, I've tried brainstorming, I've tried coming up with new things, but updating them just kind of feels like a chore at this point. And I think one of the biggest contributors to that is that there's really no endpoint to either of those projects. They were kind of just conceived and designed to just go on indefinitely and just see how big they could get in the long run. And that's not really sustainable in terms of a single hobby project. At some point, I guess you do kind of want to move on from something. So there's that. Honestly, I hadn't really put a lot of thought into that part. I started ItemBound during a really difficult period in my life where I had to I wound up having to take a semester off of university, and I was just dealing with a lot, and I wound up kind of staying at home most of the time just doing nothing, and it was a way to keep myself busy, and it was just fun to see it keep growing. And eventually I decided to share it, and it kept going from there. And it was a lot of fun to work on at the time, and I had a lot of momentum, but again, once I went back to school, got my degree, graduated, started looking for work, and just other priorities that kind of took the forefront of my attention, it just got less and having an indefinitely growing resource pack is just less and less sustainable to work on, especially since I initially tried to make it a monthly thing almost, and it was just that fell apart pretty quickly, as a lot of you already know. So all that coupled with the fact that 2020 was a rough year, as a lot of you know very well. I did not have it as bad as other people during the pandemic. Some people have had an absolutely harrowing experience in 2020. I'm not trying to shimmy into their spotlight there. I'm not trying to this isn't a pity thing. I'm just saying it was still a bit of a difficult year. Mostly after I got the Haven update out, which was a huge update because I completely kind of changed the course of the design for the resource pack into something a bit more standalone and unique. That was a huge amount of work, but I was glad to get that done, and then I'd start working on more Nether content as that Minecraft update was rolling out. I ran into a lot of problems in late spring moving into the summer, mostly health problems, not severe health problems, it wasn't COVID, but it was still disruptive enough that I could not focus on anything. It was disrupting my sleep. There were nights where I was running on 2 or 3 hours of sleep. I had no energy. It was disruptive enough that I couldn't do a handful of basic things to take care of myself. I'll just leave it at that. And I had to just kind of postpone and drop a lot of projects. I fell behind on a lot of work, paid work that I owed some people. And it was just a lot. I just had no energy or focus left to work on any of my Minecraft content, and I just kind of had to let it sit for a while. I finally got past all that when fall rolled around, and at that point, it was just a matter of playing catch up with everything that I'd missed for the last 6 months. So, it was an absolute mess, and by then I was just really tired, but like once I got back in, like once I got my like postponed obligations out of the way, I tried to get back into the cycle of updating resource packs, and the next pack that I updated around that time was Player Villagers. That's one that's been sitting on the back burner for a very long time. It basically broke when 1.14 rolled around, since like, you know, the whole village update. They completely reworked how like, you know, the villager mobs are generated. So I had to update it for that, since like the way villager textures are managed now is different. And the pack went through some pretty sizable changes. Like, it's not quite how it used to be. Instead of having like, you know, like recurring skins for every villager, I made it so that like their skin tones and ethnicity and like gender are randomized. There's a randomized hairstyle and hair colors, randomized faces. There's some randomization in their outfits, and like some of the career outfits, or like some of the profession outfits, have 3D tools that they hold in their hand now. Like if you go to the toolsmith, like they have a pair of pliers, or like if you go to like the shepherd, they hold like a cane or something, or like the fishermen of like fishing rods. That's the word I'm looking for. Fishing rod. Like there was a bunch of extra detailing going on, and I wanted to kind of create a system that like does its best to randomize. I know like actual like completely randomly generated appearances are kind of difficult, but like does its best to create like a decent variety of randomized villagers. And I released that sometime in October of 2020. I can't remember the date, but it was like maybe halfway through the month or something, or maybe towards the end. I forget. But anyway, it came out in October 2020. And so again, like I thought like, okay, this is a lot of work. I'm gonna take a break for a week or two, and then I think I'll make the update video once I'm like a little recharged. And then the problems started happening. Basically, like I think a few days after I put it out, some of like the people who I guess noticed that it was updated, or like saw it updated on like Planet Minecraft, tried it out, and I got a couple people messaging me saying, "Hey, the pack is broken. What's going on?" And I thought that was strange, because like I didn't have any problems with it when I uploaded it, and they just told me that like a bunch of textures are broken, like, or missing or something. So I thought, okay, maybe something went wrong when I uploaded it to CurseForge. So I downloaded another copy of my pack, tried it out in my game, and everything was fine. So I thought it was just a fluke, like maybe something was happening with their copy of Minecraft or Optifine or whatever. So I didn't think too much of it, other than like I just said like, hey, like I'll send you an alternate download link, try this out. And that didn't work for some reason, so I didn't know what to do at that point. And then eventually, when like I think maybe the fourth person to message me about this, I thought like, okay, this is very strange. Can you send me the resource pack that you're using and I can take a look at it? And they did, and for some reason, people's like files from the resource pack were just getting deleted. Like, not on my end, not on CurseForge's end, but like at some point after somebody downloads the pack, loads it into their game, textures just get deleted from it. And I don't know what was causing it. It was strange because some people had the pack work the first time, and then the next time they loaded the game, or the next time they loaded the resource pack, files would just be gone. And I had no idea what to do about that. I asked around a bit, but like no one really had any idea. I couldn't replicate the problem, so I wouldn't know how to fix it. And I don't know. I maybe it's a problem with someone's antivirus or something. I have no idea. I don't really know what to do about it. Somebody sort of figured something out where they found that the problem went away after they reinstalled Minecraft and reinstalled Optifine. So like I put a little notice about that on the project page, but like even to this day, people are still having problems with it, and that was really demotivating. Basically, just like when you kind of put in that much work and then it just sort of gets derailed by something that's, I guess, largely out of your control. I mean, I guess it could be in my control if I knew what to do about it, but I don't, and I don't know how to replicate it, so that's kind of been a thing. Yeah, so that kind of tanked my motivation for getting back into texturing, and so that's another reason why things have been kind of quiet around here for the longest while. So that's all of that. So I guess I just want to dedicate this last section of the video to like, I guess, future directions. Just talking about like my like future approach to like content creation and stuff. And I think the biggest thing is that just like from now on, I think I just want to focus on projects that I can actually finish, or at least things that I don't need to sink too much like regular like scheduled time into. Like here's the thing with me, like my hobbies and interests are really sporadic. Like if it's something that I'm really interested in, I can absolutely like fixate on it for the longest time. Like it's almost like intrusive to my thoughts where like I'm constantly thinking about it even when I'm doing other things. Like if I'm at work, I'll just be thinking about like what I can do with this new like hobby or project when I get home. Like I'd be like researching it a lot in my spare time. Like it occupies like a good amount of my free thought. And the thing is that when that like heightened when that period of heightened interest and focus passes, it's really hard to get back into it. Like you kind of just hit a wall most of the time. So turning it into like a recurring obligation is just kind of unhealthy for me in that regard. And I think it's better to just work on projects that maybe not necessarily lighter weight, but like, well, maybe lightweight as well, but just working on projects that have a clear end point, or at least a clear stopping point where it's not the end of the world if I stop them here and then just kind of, leave it for a while and then maybe someday I get back to make some additions, or if I just leave it be, Like it's like that's kind of the thing with Haven where like I think it might be my more main dedicated project because it feels very me. Like I put a lot of like my personal like I guess like stylistic preferences into it and like my preferences with like color usage and stuff. And like it was a lot of fun to kind of put together. And it's not something that I have to super regularly stay dedicated to. Like I know like Minecraft updates, but like it really only updates like once a year. And like it's still fairly playable despite that. Like if I were to like, pause on it for a while, which I guess kind of happened this last year. So sorry, my thoughts are a little scattered, but like point being like that's kind of it. Like I want to focus on projects that have a clear, distinct endpoint, or at least I don't have to be so regular with, and Haven kind of nicely fits into that. And just it feels a lot more like a me project. I also kind of just want to distance my name from Minecraft content in general. This isn't a dig at like Minecraft or like people who support me or whatever. Like it's great. I'm glad so many people enjoy my things, and like I'm glad I was able to like make some nice contributions to the Minecraft community. It's just at the same time like like Blue wasn't a persona I designed specifically for Minecraft. Like they're basically just like a persona that like really just originated from some like an RPG Maker character I made when I was in like senior year of high school. And like it's always been how I like to present myself on the internet, like regardless of what community I was in. Like I've used I've used that face with like The Sims, with Overwatch, with like I don't know, just all sorts of things. Like it's been fun to just be a blue alien on the internet. It's not something I specifically designed as like a branding for like a Minecraft like content portal or whatever. So like I guess it's just like I wasn't really ready to have like some people so heavily associate blue with Minecraft stuff. Like this isn't a widespread problem. I'm not trying to make it out as a widespread problem or something that's like genuinely disruptive to me, but it's like it's always a little bit jarring when I'm kind of just like minding my own business in like another community, or like just making a post about something completely unrelated or something that's going on in my life or just going on in life in general. And like somebody who like consumes my content would randomly come in and just start like kind of derailing the conversation to ask me questions about like my resource packs or whatever, instead of just going to the project page and asking about it there. Like it's sort of that thing where like when you kind of want to like like compartmentalize how you interact with like different fandoms, or I guess like different like content creation communities that you're a part of, but then people kind of start blurring the lines like that. And like I'm not putting blame on anyone here. Like this is just like it's something that was really unexpected to me. So it's kind of something that I want to sort of step away from, cuz like my life is not all about Minecraft. I love it, but like I love a lot of other things too. And I'd like to take the proper time to enjoy them as well, just on my own. Anyway, I think that's it. Yeah. uh I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're, finding ways to manage your mental health in, like, I'm just gonna say it, in this hellscape of an existence. And just, yeah, do your best, be there for your friends and family when you can, and things will get better eventually. Take care.